about 2/3 of the way through a complete refit of the showroom. We hope to have that completed sometime in October. So I just want to very briefly just sort of talk you through what we do, and then I'll tell you sort of what makes us different. So our principal products are kitchens, bedrooms, and bathrooms. And the products that we source come from Europe and the UK. Essentially, for us, it's all about design. It's all about solving a problem that you didn't know you had, or creating an environment that you never thought you could have. So we bring our 35 years. I've been doing this since 1984. Sue, in actual fact, a little bit longer than that. She worked dressing out show houses for Bovis Homes when she first started out. And our speciality is supporting people who are doing renovation work. So things like extensions, major renovations. And in actual fact, we do a lot with the people who are self-builders, which is a very big and growing market in the UK. In order to tell people what we do and how we do it, we use a CAD system, and you'll see a little bit of that shortly. And we support our clients from conception through to completion. Now that sounds a bit of a daft statement, but if you go to the multiples, you meet a salesperson who does a design for you, and then they vanish. You never see them again. A surveyor comes along and a contract manager comes along. We hold your hand from start to finish. We're there the day that you start putting your pots and pans in the drawer, and we're there the day that you bring in a plan saying, we're thinking of doing this, Jim. That makes a big difference. And we're not our own as an independent, but independents offer far more to prospective clients than you'll ever find in the multiple chains. So me and Sue, I'm an engineering graduate, been doing this over 35 years, and I've worked 25 years in the construction industry. So builders, developers, and all the big names that you would have known, Poachins, Red Row, Charles York, all the big multiple builders. Sue's a graduate interior designer and has worked over 40 years really, associated with design, furniture, and we both held senior positions in a company called Neville Johnson Offices, which is where I started my career in fitted furniture. You should know them now. They're the people that brought the understairs study to the market sector. Bathrooms. This is a smaller part of our business, but it's an ever-growing part of the business, and it's very challenging. It's one of those areas where you never really know what's going to happen, particularly when you're doing a refurbishment of a bathroom, because some of the things that we find in bathrooms that have been done by previous installers or not so good developers is just scary. But it's a part of the market that makes a massive impact on people's lives. Bedrooms, as you can see here, bedrooms are the last part of anybody's journey in terms of spending money on their property. It tends to be the kitchen first, then the bathrooms, and then last, if they've got budget left, will be the bedrooms. But it makes a massive change to people's lives in terms of how they can store everything away. And it's not as expensive as people think. These are all bespoke, and we would design them individually for the people who come to us. We also do some fitted lounge solutions. So, you know, TV and media now is a big thing for everybody. So we can incorporate all that within, you know, a pleasing piece of furniture. So some of the recently completed designs, this was a job that, now this is a level of design that we would present to our client, and we try and make it as photorealistic as we possibly can. So we'll have picked up on hints from the client about colours in the wall, types of tiling, styles of lights, those sorts of things, wherever we can. It's not always humanly possible to do it as it is, but you'll see a picture of that later. So you can see we spend a lot of time in creating and getting the client to understand what it is they're about to see. That's the picture, that was the design that we presented to the developer of the kitchen that sat behind me today. And then this is some of the completed work. So this was a development in Stanlake. That's a house in Farringdon. In actual fact, that was featured in a couple of magazines, that kitchen, principally because we designed it in such a way that people thought that the client had the house extended, and they hadn't. That's the kitchen that you saw sat behind me. You can see it was a big challenge because we've got glass down here and got glass down the other side as well. So to create a kitchen that was workable was quite a challenge. That was a new development, 2 people building a house in South Oxfordshire. And that's a picture of the kitchen that I showed you in the first design. That's how it ended up. Quite a traditional. We tend to do more contemporary design than we do traditional. But again, you can see that we can turn our hand to whatever the client should want. Differing storage media, this is a massive part of the market these days now, is how you look after all the things that you want to store away. This was a coffee station, and they had their toaster in there, as you can see. So in the morning, made their coffee, shut the door away, nothing, nobody even knew there was anything in the kitchen to start with. This was a lady, an Indian lady in actual fact, and they tend to store all their rice and spices in sweetie jars. And so that was really important to her, how we stored those. Here you'll see just different ways of storage media, which is becoming really popular. We featured a lot. We featured a lot in magazines, and I write articles for a couple of local magazines as well, just helping people so that they understand some of the challenges that they're going to get. So, quick summary. Working design-led individuals, passionate about what we do, and we are. Comprehensive knowledge of associated products, high quality, affordable products sourced around Europe and the UK, 25 years experience in the construction sector. We think we do exceptional design presentations. We've been complimented on numerous occasions. And we offer exceptional service, always looking to exceed our clients' expectations. So I'm going to shut that down now, and then I just want to tell you, as Alan has suggested in the past, a very small story. So I'm just going to close it. Okay, so we were approached by a client who were building a house in Lechlade. They built a house before and made a massive amount of mistakes and cost themselves a ferocious amount of money, which is easy to do when you're building, or even something as simple as an extension. We got ourselves involved in it, and we have now set out a complete program for them of all the decisions that they make before we even break ground. So where the sockets are, where the lights are, what the kitchen's going to look like, what the bathrooms are going to look like, what heating we want, what colours of the walls we want, what tiles we want. So now when we go out to market and we tender the project, and we've been given the brief now to look after all the interiors completely. We'll know exactly when those costs come back, what it's going to cost to build that house. Now, building houses is, it's not a mythical science, but you have to plan and plan and plan. And if you don't, you'll make great mistakes. Renovation work is a different ballgame altogether. Renovation work, you have to plan even more, because the problem with renovation work is you don't know what you're going to find until you start. So people build extensions, they knock the back of the house out so they can extend it, and then suddenly they find that the house wasn't built the way they thought it was going to be built. So renovation work, in this current market sector, prices have risen because raw materials are in short supply, believe it or not. Things like plaster, timber, even labour has all increased over the last 6 months by around about 5 to 10%. So when you're carrying out renovation work, most people now should be pricing it out at about £2,500 to £3,000 a square metre. So if you're extending out, and you want a rough guide as to where you are, then that's a rough guide. New property, about £2,000, because you're dealing with known quantities. So I think one of the things that we bring to the party is we're thorough about what we do, even with something as simple as a kitchen. We challenge preconceptions. People have preconceptions about what they do. And of course, their point of reference is everything they've ever had. 50% of the people that we see have never bought a kitchen in their lives. The other 50% have only ever bought one. I do hundreds of them. So if you think about it, where would you want to put your faith in creating the right type of design for your home? And obviously we've got a wealth of knowledge about what's available, and we can talk you through that. Lots of people want to get the latest up-to-date appliances. It isn't always the right thing to do. You're spending money needlessly if you're not going to use them in the correct way. So we have to talk people down sometimes from where they think they want to be. So that gives you a sort of overall summary of sort of where we're at, and hope you enjoyed it.
Brilliant, Jim, that's brilliant. Okay, I will turn off the recording if I know how to do that.